Again, did you continue battle?
No,
don't do that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Seaborn and welcome to another episode of Lessons for Life. If you haven't seen the previous video, the link is down in the description about what to look out for when you're buying a car. If you haven't checked that out, please do. So today, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about building your credit score. And remember how last time we were joined by guest speaker Debo? Today we're joined by guest speaker Debo. Yay!
Yes. Try to make it cute this time.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just kind of have to add variety.
Hi guys.
So, the other day, I asked Debo what her what her opinions are on building a credit score, the best way to go about it. So I was like, yo man, the best person to ask about it is this gal because she's lived a life, you know what I mean? So, anyway, so before we get into like building your credit score, we need to find out what is credit. Like, how would you best explain what credit is?
Look, disclaimer, I'm not an expert by
But
any
little bit of
means.
something.
So anything, go, feel free to correct me. Don't eat me in the Twitter streets. Ooh, this is going. But credit, in terms of your credit score, is what's credit, guys? Credit is it's money you don't have, or money that's been borrowed to you that you need to get back. Is the best way I can describe credit. Your credit score is basically a number that they give you, and this number is based on your ability to maintain debt. This is the best way that I can describe it. How good are you at maintaining debt? Do you pay back consistently? Are you just like holding debt and you're not like blacklisted and all of those things?
Keep it in the box.
So the best way I can say what your credit score is it's a number that they give you based on your ability to maintain debt.
That's a good explanation. And your credit score is given to you out of 705. And the closer your credit score is to this number, the better you are. The better your score is, right? So
yeah, so the better your credit opportunities
are. Okay,
Yes.
so now we talk about, okay, fine, now we know what a credit score is, what it's out of and everything, but now we're talking about building a credit score, right? So you come out fresh from wherever you studied, you come out fresh out of the streets of wherever, and you have a clean slate of zero credit. So now you have to build up your credit to be able to get a credit score, right?
Mind you, this is not a political video, not to get political, but as people of already were at a disadvantage.
110%.
Start as early as possible.
Yes. So what people normally advise, first thing they do, open a clothing store account. The best way to build up your credit score, because it doesn't need a history of anything. It just needs you to have a bank statement, proof of residence, and your payslip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that they can see that value you having money coming in that you can pay them back with. Correct?
Yeah. So another thing is when you're trying to start out, right? So you're fresh from high school. If you don't have like parents that are financially with it and they haven't already set you up, essentially, like, we're doing these videos for people that are like, you're one-manning it essentially in life. Do you know what I mean?
Amanda.
Hey, thanks Naomi. So if the burden is on you, right? So you're fresh out of high school, you're fresh out of varsity, and you're starting this life thing by yourself. You start with a clothing account because, like Simon said, it doesn't need you to have any pre-existing credit, right? But don't get sort of bogged down in the trap of like, now you have a clothing account, now you're going to spend in southern industries for my gym,
Again, did you continue battle?
No,
don't do that. It's not a good idea.
The purpose of the clothing account is to build a credit score so that, you know, we're trying to build wealth.
Yes.
Not riches or money. We're trying
Not
to be
Cordini.
like these guys.
Yes.
You know? We're trying to build generational wealth.
You know what I
So
mean?
you get this account and it's gonna ask you for your ID, which we all get. So you're gonna need your ID and then you're gonna need your proof of residence. Usually they want a proof of residence that's in your name. And we don't own houses or pay rent.
So a lot of it. So what I used for that was my university like statement or something, you know what I mean? So like your academic results, or like for instance your bank statement. So you can use your bank statement as your bank statement and also your proof of residence. Just make sure it's your proof of residence that you're actually living at. But like if you're like me and moved like a million times, it's quite difficult.
On the off chance you don't have a bank account, your proof of residence, what they'll need, so what they told me, because I don't want to use the one on my bank statement and I live in my grand's house, that's not my name, and my grand is deceased, or is deceased, but they either want a letter from the person that you actually live with, which would probably be your parents, if not your guardians or whatever, stating that you actually live where you say you live, or a letter from your ward councillor. So if you live in like the ghettos of the hood, then like your ward councillor of Pimville. If you live in the burbs, then I guess your ward councillor of like Killarney or, you know, West Cliff. They want a letter stating that you actually live where you say you live. So your proof of residence might have like your mother's name on it, plus that letter then proves that you live there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Information I didn't know of, hence we have guest speaker demo. Okay, so now,
and then pay slips. You're gonna need pay slips
for 3 months, like 3 months worth of pay slip. So if you haven't been earning for 3 months, you can't give them a pay slip of 3 months, which
if you don't have a pay slip, like you don't have a job, or you haven't worked a job that long, or your job is doing some undercover things and paying you cash and not in your account, and they don't give you pay slips because jobs tend to do that sometimes. Then again, go to your parent or legal guardian or whoever it is that you'll be getting this money from, and they're gonna need their pay slip as well as a letter that will be accompanying to say this is the situation, this is what's up, the account is mine.
okay, cool.
I stand to be corrected, like I said, but this is what they told me when I was going to account. I did that pay slips by now.
So, excuse me, now that you have your clothing account and you've set it up and you're ready to build your credit score, you buy your clothes or you buy whatever. But the trick is not to buy and pay back immediately. That's not what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is to buy, let it simmer for like a month and then pay it back. Because if you buy today, pay tomorrow, that's not an indication of how well you handle debt. That's like, I had money that I just didn't want to use today, I'll use it tomorrow kind of thing. Yeah, so then the more you do that, the better your chances of getting better credit opportunities are.
So again, it's like we said in the beginning, your credit score is a score based on your ability to maintain debt. So you need debt to maintain debt. So you don't necessarily have to now go splurge and spend 5,000 rand and buy things that you don't need. You can buy socks for like whatever, 50 rand. And then you pay back 5 rand a month. Just the longer you can stretch back your payback period, the better for you. Because again, debt maintenance. Are you paying on time? Are you paying consistently? Are you paying the right amount? So if their minimum payback amount is, let's say, 25 rand, you're not gonna pay 23 because
where's your 2 rand?
Not maintenance of debt. So, you know, pay back at least the minimum over a certain period of time until you pay those socks off, and then you can then rotate and buy something else. Again, we don't want to get into the trap of having a clothing account. Now we have clothes on credit and it's overdue and it's overdraft or whatever. No. So pay it back over 6 months, then you buy something else. The longer that you can do that, you'll also see when not necessarily your score becomes good, but when you're a good client, so to speak. You'll see at Edgar's or at Cotton On, I'm not going to type out his credit, but any of these shows, they'll extend your credit amount.
Yes.
So they'll start offering you more and more on credit.
Yeah, so
that's when you know that you're now starting to build a better sort of credit record, and you're becoming a good maintainer of debt,
yeah.
so to speak.
So let's say, for instance, your initial credit amount they gave you was 5,000 rand, and then you spend however much, and then you see like you're paying it back really well. They'll be like, you now qualified to take your credit up to 8,000 rand, and that means they're giving you more money to see if you can pay them back very well. Makes sense.
And then what you then can do is not transfer credit, so to speak, but you can then, your credit opportunities grow. So a lot of people were advising me that you can go clothing account or cell phone contract, but more often than not, your cell phone contract needs you to have existing debt. So because cell phones are somewhat
like
a necessity, kind of, you can then now apply for a cell phone contract with your statements from your Cotton On account, and then you can close that, because we're not trying to fall into the trap of debt. You can close that and then maintain your cell phone contract, and once you keep doing that, it then grows and it grows, and as you go along, things like your car finance and like home loans and personal loans, one, it determines how much they can give you, and if they give you it at all, actually. So the better you are at maintaining debt, the more, I suppose, credit you can get. Again, guys, necessary things.
Don't be like Sibo and splurge, because that's not a good idea on anything. So, but like, what basically, building credit, you need to have debt to see, so they can see if you're paying it back well, and with paying it back well, you get better opportunities for like home loans, car loans and stuff like that. And in this country, you need credit to live if you want to be buying things like a home or a car. Unless you have the cash to do that, it's nearly impossible to like, voila, I'm buying a house cash, then SARS is gonna come for you.
So unfortunately, the whole thing is like, we're all not trying to live with debt, but you need debt to get, like, I don't know about you, but I don't have 1.5 for a house. So you're getting a credit score, and if you're trying to start building a credit score at the age of like 40 or whenever you want to buy a house,
it's gonna take a really long time.
It's not going to be a good look. You just have to keep in mind that you're doing this because it's necessary. So you don't want to start taking out unnecessary loans and unnecessary finances and all of those things.
Yeah.
Also, fireworks. Your credit card does not contribute to your credit score.
I learned it the other day.
Doesn't. So when your banker is like, hey now, you qualify for 10,000 rand, and it doesn't. Neither does your DSTV account, neither does your Nesfus loan.
Oh yeah.
So paying back Nesfus does not contribute to your credit score, not your DSTV, not your credit card.
So find out what does besides the clothing store account. So once you've built up your credit by using the store account, fine to close it, because we don't need it anymore, because we don't want to buy clothes on debt, because once you start doing that, they surely get that. I've paid off my account, okay? Congratulate me. Thank you. And you close it because then now you can focus on big things like your phone contract, like what else am I paying? My car. Like your car and stuff like that. Those are like, okay, now we're talking big monies, you know what I mean? So that's the thing that like a necessity that you need to like focus on once you've built your good credit score.
Yeah. Also things like your Willy's accounts, or maybe like a Pick n Pay. I don't know if Pick n Pay does credit.
Pick n Pay does credit.
But those are really good, because then what you can do is you can buy your groceries, because everybody eats food, and then you pay that off bit by bit. And you don't need to buy groceries on credit, but it does sort of help. It's like a necessity. So I think that's something that's looking.
I think we covered everything.
Again, guys,
we're not experts. We're just trying to give you like our life experiences and stuff like that for things that we should have been taught in school, but we weren't. Okay. If you guys do have any other questions or building a credit score, please do write them down in the comment section. We'll try to answer them as best as we can. I'll get experts is my brother and his friends. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. and comment down below if you liked it. Okay guys, bye.